When you start investing in the stock market, you can either make your life complicated and start picking high-risk stocks or ETFs that you shouldn't, or you can create an invincible, lazy portfolio that is so strong and stable that you becoming a millionaire becomes only a question of time. So if you want to belong to the second category, this video is for you. We're going to analyze 3 different portfolios, and after this video you'll know exactly which one is the best and the most appropriate for you. My name is Rick, your favorite Italian investor and twin of Manu Ginobili. Yes, I know. And if you're new to this channel, there is a beautiful button down there called subscribe. This is going to give you free access to hundreds of investing videos for free. So what about giving it a try? So let's get to portfolio number 1, everyone. This is what I call the one fund wonder, ultra lazy edition. And it's the best choice for people who want to do literally nothing after investing. I'm going to give you the American ETF for it, but as I always do, I will also give you the European alternative if you invest from Europe. So don't worry, European investors. Usually, when I talk about the best ETF in the world that can be used as an only ETF in a portfolio, I usually mention VO, the S&P 500 ETF from Vanguard, or VTI, the total stock market ETF from Vanguard. But not this time. Before revealing my pick for today, let me say a few words about VO and VTI. VO includes the 500 best and largest companies in the American stock market and is always my suggestion number 1 that should be included in all portfolios as a foundational ETF. VO returned 15% in the last 12 months, an average of 16.59% per year in the last 5 and 13.6% per year in the last 10. Which is incredible. Imagine that if you were able to have a long-term return of 15% per year for the long term, I know it's not possible, but let's just imagine, and you invested only $500 per month, you'd have a $1 million portfolio in just 22 years. VTI is really similar to VO, but instead of including the best 500 companies of the American stock market, it includes all companies of the American stock market. The performance is quite similar to VO though, as you can see from the last 5 or 10 years, and this is due to the fact that 500 companies of VO also represents the biggest weight in the over 4,000 companies of VTI, making the 2 ETFs almost identical. But now I want you to think about this. And this is the reason why today's pick for the one fund lazy portfolio is going to be neither VO nor VTI. The American stock market has returned an average of 10% per year for any given time in history. We've had some really bad years and some really good years, but if you take a time frame of, let's say, 30 years, since 1955 to today, the average return has always been around 10%. This is why if you see an average return of 13% in the last 10 years and a price-to-earnings ratio that grows constantly since over 15 years, signaling that the price of the market is growing more than its real value, I do have the feeling that the American stock market is becoming quite overpriced and might reach a peak point in the next years and start growing much slower. That's why, for the one fund wonder, today's laziest portfolio, I'm going to give you VT, the Vanguard Total World Stock Index Fund ETF. This is one of the most famous Vanguard ETFs and contains 9,914 companies from all over the world, adjusting automatically the weight of the single companies and countries based on how they perform. Inside it, you will find around 66% North America, 14.8% Europe, 9.9% emerging markets like India or China, 9.4% Pacific, and so on, getting a wonderful mix of all companies including Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple. Now, when I talk about international ETFs like VT, sometimes people object that the United States have been the best performing country in the past, so it's useless investing elsewhere. But I'm going to give you 3 reasons why this is most likely not the case for the future. The first reason is what I mentioned before, namely, the PE ratio of the American stock market is dangerously increasing since 15 years. What does it mean? The price of the market is increasing more than the real earnings growth of the companies. And this shows that we're building more and more expectation into the price, which is never a good thing. Second reason, the US and the dollar are losing power compared to other countries like China. Many countries now are rising against the dollar because they are tired of the US having so much influence in all global policies. And we have enough data that shows that countries like India and China are rising at a rate which is much higher than the US. Now, if you read the book from Ray Dalio called Principles for Dealing with the Changing World Order, which is a wonderful analysis of how the biggest economies are actually developing over the centuries, you see that Dalio shows how the US increased its relative standing until around 1960, and now it's decreasing. In the meantime, China is growing to almost the same relative standing of the US. The relative standing is calculated considering a dozen of different factors like financial strength, education, military power, wealth, and so on. So it gives a good representation of how the country is actually doing compared to others. The third reason is that this year the world is already overperforming the US, just like I was expecting and told everybody last year. This is the return of VT compared to the return of VO. VT for the whole world and VO for the US. Notice that in the last 10 years, VO returned more than VT, because as I said, in the last 10-15 years, the US had an above average growth, but also a growth of the PE ratio. Last 5 years, same thing. VO was stronger. But already in the last year, you see that VT has overperformed VO with 16% against 15%. This goes to show that the international market that underperformed before is now being looked at closely, and investors are starting to realize that the US might not keep growing more than the rest of the world forever. If we want to throw a fourth advantage of buying VT, it would be this. Nobody knows what's going to happen to the American stock markets in the next 20-40 years, and most of us are still going to be invested by them. So if you only invest in VO or VTI, whatever happens to the US, you're going to be hit. If you invest in VT instead, should the US keep overperforming, it's still going to be the highest weight in the ETF. But should one day China or another country become the strongest power in the world, VT is going to automatically give more weight to China without you doing anything. VTI instead couldn't do anything about it because it's an ETF solely based on the US. So this fact that VT automatically adjusts the weight of the countries based on how they are performing is the reason why a simple portfolio with only VT wins the crown as the best lazy portfolio today. And again, this doesn't mean that the US is surely not going to overperform in the future. It's just a guarantee for lazy investors if you are one. If you invest from Europe, let me give you the best European alternative. The Vanguard FTSE Old World UCITS ETF, ticker VWC. This ETF gives exposure to thousands of companies worldwide, reinvests the dividend, which means no rebalancing and no tax hassle, and it's a perfect alternative if you invest from Europe. The second portfolio is what I call recosting 70-30 split. And it's going to be a 70-30% portfolio all based on the US. You're going to love this lazy portfolio if you have total faith in the US. The first component of this portfolio is going to be VO, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF with 70% weight. That obviously you can switch with VT if you want international diversification. The second component with 30% is going to be a growth ETF. And here I'm going to show you 3 alternatives and explain why I choose one over the others. The 3 alternatives are by far the best growth ETFs out there, and they are QQQ, VGT, and SCHG. For QQQ, by the way, you can choose its little brother QQQM, which is identical but has a lower expense ratio. But for simplicity, let me refer to QQQ here. Now, QQQ, the Invesco QQQ Trust Series 1 ETF, as well as QQQM, are based on the Nasdaq 100 index, which tracks the 100 largest and most innovative companies listed on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange based on market capitalization, excluding financial companies. The second ETF is VGT. VGT is your #1 choice if you want a pure technology ETF, because it's one of the most diverse market cap weighted tech ETFs with a wonderful coverage of the whole tech industry, including large, mid-size, and small US tech companies. The expense ratio is 0.09%, and the index tracked by VGT is the MSCI US IMI Information Technology 2550 index, where 2550 means that no more than 25% of the total assets may be invested in one single company, and that if you take all the companies that have a higher weight of 5% respectively, their sum must not exceed 50% of the total assets. A good alternative to VGT is FTEC, the Fidelity MSCI Information Technology Index ETF, which is basically identical but has a slightly lower expense ratio with 0.08% instead of 0.09%. The reason why I'm taking VGT here is that FTEC has been created recently, so we don't have long-term performance data. Considering that the 2 ETFs are almost identical though, you can assume that in the past the performance of FTEC would have been identical to that of VGT. Last ETF is SCHG, which tracks the return of the Dow Jones US Large Cap Growth Total Stock Market Index. Inside, you'll find the 230 best and biggest growth companies within the parent index, the Dow Jones Total Stock Market Index. If we compare these 3 ETFs, QQQ, VGT, and SHG, they're all wonderful choices, so you honestly don't do anything wrong by picking just one of them. But if I had to choose for you, I choose QQQ. It's the one with the highest long-term return if we take the 20 years time frame, and not without reason it's the most bought growth ETF in the world, preceded only by the total stock market and by 3 S&P 500 ETFs. So now let's imagine how much we could make with this portfolio. 70% VOO and 30% QQQ or QQQM. Let's say that we invest $700 per month and the two ETFs gives us an average long-term return of 12%. Which is not impossible considering that QQQ has returned way more than that for 20 years. If you were able to increase your investments every year by 5%, which is possible considering an increase in salary and inflation over the years, after 30 years, you'd have a portfolio of $3.6 million. Imagine you start at 20 years old, you invest $700 with an increase of just 5% per year, and at 50, you are already a millionaire. If we want to dream a little bit more, imagine you do it until you're 60, so 10 years longer. At 60, your total portfolio would be $12,900,000, which is crazy. Obviously, you're going to lose a lot of buying power because of inflation. In fact, considering a 3% yearly inflation, you're going to lose almost 70% of its buying power, but still it's going to be a crazy portfolio, and it's going to be like if you had $4 million today. Isn't that crazy? I mean, this is what I love about investing in the stock market. There is no work on your side except subscribing to my channel, of course, and investing in a couple of solid ETFs, and you just need to sit back and watch your portfolio grow exponentially over the years, like a snowball. No hustle, no employees or customers complaining, no time invested on your side, just putting aside some money every month to have a better future for yourself and for your family. If you invest from Europe, instead of VOO, you can get VUAA, the Vanguard S&P 500 UCITS ETF. It's exactly the same ETF, so just look for S&P 500 in your brokerage and you're gonna find this Vanguard S&P 500 ETF for a price of around 105 euros per unit. For the second ETF, QQQ, if you invest from Europe, you can buy eQQQ, the Invesco eQQQ Nasdaq 100 UCITS ETF, which is identical to an American QQQ, but unfortunately with an expense ratio of 0.30%. The third portfolio is what I consider the perfect three-fund portfolio. It's going to be made of a core position for stability, a growth position to push your long-term performance to the moon, and a value position to allow you to build an income-generating portfolio that pays you dividends no matter what the market is doing. And if you haven't done it, listen to Trump when he says,
"Guys, let's make Rick Austin's channel great again."
So subscribe to the channel, and now let's move right into the first ETF, which is going to take 40% of the portfolio cake. This ETF is the best ETF you can ever possess, and it's going to be there as a core position to give your portfolio stability and diversification. So the core position must be made in a way that it's not too risky, is diversified, grows substantially over time, and above all, is never going to give you a shock, no matter what the market is doing. The only way, and I mean it, the only way for an ETF to be a perfect core position is that it's broadly diversified, it's not focused on one or few sectors, and it embraces a whole economy so that no matter if some sectors have a crisis, the whole economy is going to balance it, and the country in the long term is always going to grow. That's why for the first position I chose VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, which is the biggest ETF in the world for assets under management. As I said in my first portfolio, you can also get VT instead of VOO if you believe that in the future the US might not perform better than the world, as it did in the past. The second ETF is going to be again QQQ with 30%. I'm not going to say much about this ETF since I already talked about it before in the video, but obviously a good diversified portfolio contains a growth part to increase your long-term returns. Alright, the third ETF of this portfolio also gets a 30% slice of the cake and is one of the best dividend ETFs in existence. The reason why I'm adding a dividend ETF is not because you absolutely need it. Again, let me remind you that even having only the S&P 500 as your only ETF is totally fine. But I'm doing this because then you're gonna have a position in your portfolio that is gonna give you stable dividends, so stable income. So that's why this ETF is not going to be an ETF that gives 10% dividend yield, but instead it must be an ETF that consistently delivers good dividends and performance. This ETF is the second biggest dividend ETF per assets under management in the whole world. It offers a nice, quite stable 3.7% dividend yield and grew with an astounding 13% per year since inception in 2011. I'm talking about SCHD, the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF, that for a minimal 0.06% expense ratio gives you access to the 100 best high-yield dividend growth blue chips in America. If you'd invested $10,000 in SCHD 10 years ago, you now have around $29,540, and they would yield you now around $1,000 every single year just in dividends. What I like about SCHD is the strategy used by the underlying index to choose the stocks. SCHD tracks the Dow Jones US Dividend 100 Index, and the goal of this ETF is to find quality, sustainable dividend-yielding companies based on criteria like 10 consecutive years of dividend payment, a high market capitalization, high dividend growth over the past 5 years, high free cash flow to total debt, high return on equity, and high expected forward yield. For European investors, I'm sorry, but Europe doesn't offer a wonderful choice for dividend ETFs. You can watch this video of mine where I only talk about dividend ETFs in Europe, or you can choose the Vanguard FTSE All World High Dividend Yield UCITS ETF, the S&P 500 US Dividend Aristocrats, or the MSCI World Quality Dividend ETF. And honestly, not so many others without extremely high expense ratio. If you have some other ideas, please write them down in the comment section below. So, this is the portfolio. 40% VO, 30% QQQM or QQQ, and 30% SHD. If you're interested instead on the perfect portfolio based on your age, experience, and other data, just download my ETF portfolio builder that has a tab for American, a tab for Europeans, and a tab for Canadian investors. And here you can set up your data and investing experience, and the tool is going to give you the perfect set of ETFs for you. You can download it for free through the link in the description below, and the only thing I ask you in return is to be nice and drop a beautiful like to this video. So everyone, let me know what you think about these 3 lazy ETF portfolios. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support my work, and apart from this, I wish you a great day or evening, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!